mobilized and paid for the deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
The deadly insurrection.
Violent and deadly insurrection.
The deadly insurrection.
Deadly insurrection.
Deadly insurrection.
The deadly insurrection.
The deadly insurrection.
Violent, deadly insurrection.
Deadly insurrection.
The 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 deadly insurrection.
Violent and deadly insurrection.
The deadly insurrection.
Violent and deadly insurrection.
Deadly insurrection.
The deadly insurrection.
The deadly insurrection.
The deadly insurrection.
The deadly insurrection on these very same grounds.
You start looking for this insurrection and all these dead bodies, and you're like, my gosh, seems like the insurrection on January 6th, there was only one dead body, and that was one of the alleged insurrectionists. Notice I'm using air quotes. That's kind of weird. Wasn't much of an insurrection, was it? Kind of strange. January 6th was a lot of things. An insurrection, it most certainly was not. Now, why would you be engaged in this ongoing psyop if you're a leftist media hack, an academic, or one of these snob elitists who looks down at us, the great unwashed? You think we're a bunch of hayseed idiots. Why would you be trying to tell impressionable America, voters and citizens out there, that there's one side committed to an insurrection, an overthrow of the government, they want a bloody civil war, and they want it tomorrow? Gee, I don't know. Maybe because it's not happening, this bloody civil war. There are no leaders of this civil war calling en masse for people to take arms up against their government. So you want to pretend it's happening by this constant agitprop propaganda effort and demoralization of the other side in order to do things, right? To get things done. So in order to get things done, and to get American citizens to overcome their, thankfully, natural reluctance towards government surveillance and censorship, Americans generally are very, very reluctant to support any effort to spy on or to target American citizens and censor them. So what if you just made a bunch of this stuff up to do things like this, like you see in the Washington Post? Headline: Justice Department forms new domestic terrorism unit to address the growing threat. Washington Post. Again, you'd say the Washington Post, again, as the democracy dies in the darkness, paragons of truth and justice. So I'll assume this isn't a conspiracy theory. It is actually happening. The Justice Department is forming a new domestic terrorism unit. For this growing threat. What growing threat? Well, Michael Anton, who I really, really enjoy his writing, has another spectacular piece out. Came out January 18th, just a few days ago, at American Greatness. Folks, please read this today. It's called The Civil War PSYOP by Michael Anton. He says psychological operations can have many objectives, demoralization being the most common. But they can also be used to create opportunities that otherwise might not present themselves. Opportunities. Like opportunities to censor and surveil, lock up and target your fellow citizens who may be your political opponents?